Pregúntate, ¿por qué en todas las teorías de la conspiración le echan la culpa a los judíos? Why are they putting the blame on Jews, man? And especially after World War II, man. Justo después de la Segunda Guerra Mundial, o sea, si a los judíos les han quitado el poder económico total, ¿no? Jews have been, they've taken all the economic power, man. The power group nowadays is the Saudi Monarchs. It's OPEC, the oil-producing countries. They are the ones with all the dough and all the energy and all the money. And the reason the dollar has a value is because the Arabs are only selling oil in dollars. That's the strength of the dollar. The dollar is worth something because the Arabs are selling oil only in dollars. So if you want to buy oil, you need dollars. You have to have dollars, whether you're China or whichever nation you want to be, because the price is dollars. Dollars. And the Saudis are not Jews. The Saudis are Muslims, and actually they are against Jews. They've been fighting the Jews in Palestine since 1948. The Muslims have been fighting Christians since they came to be in the year 600 after Christ. That's when Muhammad, the prophet, or 500 or whatever, came. Yeah. And basing ourselves on the facts, which is the extermination of 6 million Jews by Hitler and 35 million Catholics and Jews by Stalin, and knowing that we sided with Stalin and that World War II was a war of energetics, of oil, of oil is energy, it's petrol. See, you convert oil into gas for cars, into plastics, into it's part of the petrochemical industries. But you know that, right? So I don't need to over-explain this, right? But why do they always put blame on Jews? Or the ones with the power are the Saudi monarchs, Saudi monarchies. Why are they putting the blame on the Catholic Church when the ones with the power are the Saudi monarchies? Why is it that every single conspiracy theory takes you as far away as they can from the Muslims, from OPEC? They don't even mention them. OPEC, the Organization of Oil Producing Countries. And exporters. Guys, sometimes I don't know if I'm talking in the desert because I'm talking things that are far beyond the grasp and comprehension of a normal human beings, but it cannot be that hard to understand, right? Everybody has to know. Those are facts, and everybody knows about Saudi Arabia and OPEC, and that Iraq was the second largest reserve of oil in 1992, and that's the reason we went to war, the first Gulf War, because of oil, and because Saddam was selling oil below the prices of OPEC, because he wasn't abiding by OPEC, and he was selling the oil to Russia and Russia to Europe, But everyone knows that, right? Oh, Or that Chavez was selling oil for $2 a barrel to China, and they were putting the boats, they were, putting all the oil in the big rigs, and they weren't even making it to China. The Chinese would just turn the boat around and bring it to the U.S. That was the covert way in which Chavez from Venezuela was selling oil to. So Chavez also is another CIA puppet. But everybody knows that, right? It's public information, right? Those are the WikiLeaks cables, right? And we didn't even need them, just a little bit of common sense, right? But everybody knows that, right? And the bad guys are the Saudi Monarchies. And the head of Freemasonry is not the Jews, right? But the Saudi Monarchies and the British Queen, you know? And they just have nothing to do with that, you know? But probably not everybody knows that. And yes, that's what it is, man. And that's just culture, history, education. Fiat ut serviet, to know in order to serve. How can you serve if you don't know anything? How can you serve if you're forbidden to learn about history or religion or whichever topic, because you live in a country that forbids education or sectarizes, segments, prohibits certain materials and subjects. And with the excuse of separating church from state, they teach no religion whatsoever at all. Because that way they help the bad guys hide the thugs and the thieves, you know, the Saudi monarchs, which are the ones that have been waging war to the world in the past 100 years. You know? That's the oil crisis. They're holding the world hostage every time they raise the barrel of oil. You see, $70 is already really bad, because that's why gas is $5, $4 a gallon. Okay, and gas, and then the price is going to affect everything else. Housing and food and milk and everything else. But you know that, of course, right? Well, and if you don't, now you figure it out after you see that your dollar has lost its power. Why? Because the price of oil, OPEC, and now they just raised it to 100 and some, which means that in a year, gas is going to be $8 or $9, because how long it takes for the cycle. And milk is going to be $6, $7 a gallon, man. But you know that, right? And if you don't, it's because you haven't studied economics, you haven't studied history, you haven't studied religion, history of wars. It's because you are depleted of all important and relevant information, and you're just being fed all the BS that the state wants you to eat and drink. But here we are, the educators, and we are willing to go that mile beyond and tell you what it is and how it came to be, and how it is and how it will come out. Because it's like cooking, you see. Once you cooked one tortilla de patatas, you cook them all, man. So you know the way things turn out to be, and you have to flip the tortilla in order to cook the other side. Meaning that to be the Magnificat, and let him who has ears listen to what the Spirit has to say to the churches. Y este es Apaxim, su reportero favorito, que se despide una vez más, victorioso, desde los confines del universo.